Hello and welcome to Nice Work Pal. I am Jim, and behind the camera, the fantastic Dawn. Say hello, Dawn.
Hello, Dawn.
We are here today at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and we're going to go in a place that a lot of people walk by. One man's dream. Now, this is all about Walt's dream. My dream is always the same. It's back in high school in my underwear with my teeth falling out. It's the classic stuff.
I don't think anybody needed to hear that, Jim.
Nightmares. This is Walt's dream, though. This is great. This is a museum about the history of Walt Disney and Walt Disney World and all things Walt Disney. Plus, there's a meet and greet in here.
Yeah, it's Ariel from the live action.
Yeah, this is a fantastic spot for people who really love Walt Disney World. And it's also nice and cool in there.
It is nice and cool.
So let's check it out.
I just love all the old photos they have in here. It's nothing that I haven't seen before, but it's just cool.
Now, Dawn, to be fair, I think you and I have probably seen a lot more of this than most people because we really have kind of wrapped ourselves up in this. I mean, I've read books about Walt Disney World and watched a lot of documentaries.
I have too.
But this is really great stuff.
Yeah.
Everything from his early days as an animator to his time creating parks. It's all in here.
This looks like opening day. Probably was.
Yeah, they're letting him drive. He should be in the back.
Yeah.
Getting carted around.
And I love all the black and white ones too. It's just, this was his dream. And if you love Disney World like we do, you get it. Look at all the old characters, like the old costumes. A little creepy looking.
The ones from before Disneyland,
Yeah.
they were insane. They were stuff of nightmares.
And that's probably where it all started.
I believe those are Walt's parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they have his old school desk from when he went to school in Marceline.
Yeah, and Marceline is kind of known as his inspiration for Main Street, USA.
Yeah.
The classic American town.
I actually had no idea that Abe Lincoln was his boyhood hero. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he has a lot of love for, the American history, Abraham Lincoln, and of course the animatronic show in Disneyland is about Abraham Lincoln, and it kind of gave birth to the Hall of Presidents in Disney World. Walt loved trains.
He really did. I like the train at the Magic Kingdom. On the right track, Walt's railway dreams. Amazing. And then his brother.
Yeah,
Disney brothers.
Walt and Roy were very close. Walt followed Roy into the war because he, just didn't want to be away from him, I think.
That's right. Didn't he lie about his age?
He lied about his age.
Earlier?
Yeah, I think he did some medical stuff in the war to probably just to get out of the house. But
Penny Arcade, growing up in a small town in America. So that is Main Street, the early inspiration. It's right there.
Marceline was the town he lived in for just a few years, but he never shook the feeling of what that town was like.
Marceline, Missouri. Look at that. It looks like Main Street, USA.
A little bit.
And it is. Main Street, USA in Disneyland. We still have to go visit there.
I know. I can't wait.
We have to get there. All the early drawings were pretty cool as well.
Yeah, he started out as an artist, doing some cartoons, and then moved on to animation, and was always kind of an innovator. I think he's one of the very first people to ever blend live action with animation.
The Prince, the Girl, the Romance. When Walt was a newsboy in Kansas City, he attended a screening of a live-action silent motion picture, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, he remembered the story, and it became his inspiration for his first full-length feature film.
That's where he got his big break, right?
I mean, he had some success before that, but that was revolutionary. Yeah. People didn't think it could be done. They didn't think you could make a full-length feature movie out of a cartoon.
And he did.
And he did.
Check out the early animation table. Now, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a screen like that. I'm sure it was just a piece of wood.
And as basic as those animations look, I can't even draw a stick figure.
Yeah, I don't really know how they do it. But all the old pen and ink, and that's a pretty cool sketch pad.
So it's so crazy to me that Mickey Mouse is the big character that gave him kind of a big break. But it all kind of came out of a long story about, if you've heard of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, how that character got stolen from him.
Yeah, that is true.
But starting over with Mickey Mouse was probably one of the best things that ever happened to him, because Steamboat Willie was one of his earliest successes.
Yeah, it looks a little bit different than Mickey Mouse.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But this film was one of the earliest cartoons that actually had some sound synced up to it.
Yeah, I remember watching some of them.
That's such an iconic picture of Mickey Mouse.
It really is, right here. I remember watching the skeleton dance. It might be in the film we're going to watch, isn't it?
Probably. He did a lot of animated shorts that were set to classical music.
Oh.
He understood the value of music with visuals. And that's what a lot of his early work was focused on.
Yeah.
1935, color was added to the cartoons. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
And I can only imagine, imagine the paradigm shifts we see today, where we go from analog to digital, or they change the way something works. We have videotapes, and now everything's digital files. But imagine how much more difficult it must have been drawing cell by cell, and then, hey, now there's color.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I wonder if that was a real rocking horse.
I don't know.
That's fun, though. I would have tipped it over. Oh, wow, early Mickey Mouse merchandise. Oh, that's fun.
Even
early.
Back then,
Wow.
there was Disney merch.
Look at that. Train.
Those are cute toys, but you can see how maybe the costumes were scary.
They were a little scary. Early Disney character plushes.
They don't look as soft and fluffy as today's.
No, they don't. They look a little scary.
Yeah.
Mickey's pal Pluto. This is probably when he was born.
Yeah, he was pretty early on in the development of the Mickey cartoons. So yeah, as animation improved, Disney actually had to train a lot of people to animate, because he needed people. It takes so many people to animate a cartoon. So the multiplane process was something that Disney helped develop, which was the way to animate a background and have things move in perspective.
That's cool.
Yeah. Again, innovative, and something you see in every cartoon.
Yeah.
That we've ever seen. So you just forget that it didn't always exist.
Yeah.
But look at the machines that must have, been needed to hold the different planes together so that the camera could shoot it all.
Wow, when he began working on Snow White, he knew he needed new storytelling techniques. Interesting. Looks like Pinocchio makes his toy debut, 1940 to 1942.
Yeah, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but Pinocchio.
Now that still looks the same.
Pinocchio was like I think he was maybe the second feature film. Kind of a dark movie.
Yeah, a little bit. And then Silly Symphonies in the Playroom. Kind of remember that.
I love the old Donald Duck stuff.
Yeah, look at that. Look at him. He looks very, very angry, though.
He's kept that feature the whole time.
I mean, he's very angry there.
Yeah, but he looked very different back then.
Yeah. So this is a miniature diorama of Granny's cabin.
From the feature film so dear to my heart.
I don't remember that.
Which I'm going to confess, I don't think I've actually sat all the way through that one.
No, I don't even remember it, but it's cool nonetheless. 7 Dwarfs, 7 Personalities.
Yeah, Seven Dwarfs was kind of a breakthrough moment for Disney because, like, major motion picture. Like, it was a huge success.
Huge.
And people didn't even think that kind of movie could be done. Interesting thing, they actually, in their effort to, make realistic looking people, actually, like, had some people act it out and traced them. It was kind of, trying to figure out how to do it, and they were first.
And they did it.
Yeah.
No, we did. Yes, we did.
The sound heard round the theater.
Yeah, Fantasia was a big thing for Disney. Like, he really wanted to, make the grand movie that married the classical music to the animation.
Yeah.
And get some inspiration from the music. It's, technically, a marvel, and but like the follow-up sequel, I don't know if the public loved it as much as he did.
Yeah. Fantasia bringing vision to music.
Yeah, and if you've ever watched the old Fantasia, parts of it are very abstract.
Yeah.
Like just some shapes and sounds that that are married together. But some parts of it were very classic, like Mickey with the, as the Sorcerer's Apprentice was a classic scene.
Yeah. And then here it is.
Yeah, and can you put a value on that? Like, whether the movie was a tremendous success or not? That's an image that's lasted through the decades.
Definitely. And then comes Bambi and Dumbo.
Those are movies I know well. Bambi actually was a movie that they spent a lot of time studying real animals and their movements.
Right. That's right.
They would bring them into the studios to study them.
Yeah.
And Dumbo, well, that's just a sad movie.
Yeah.
Until the end, when it has a happy ending.
A very animated goodwill tour. World War II had slowed studio production to a crawl, but Walt, intrigued by South America, took a group of his best animators and a 16mm film camera on a grand tour of Mexico, Peru,
Yeah. If you've ever wondered why there was that lull in animation in the 40s, the war had a lot to do with it. The studios were kind of taken over as a propaganda area. Like they would, I know. Well, a lot of the animators got called to the war.
That's true.
So they couldn't animate. So they were still making some cartoons, but they were making them for the government. And but that was a time where things like Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros came out because Walt was busy exploring, South American cultures.
Dancing Man prototype figure.
Buddy Epson filmed against the background as a background grid as reference programming for the movements of his early animated figures.
Is this like music?
I'm not really sure what that is. So part of Walt's early fascination with railways, he built a train in his backyard.
Ah, and you got to ride it.
Yes.
But it was a small train, like.
It was. He could sit on top of the train.
Yeah.
But imagine putting a larger scale train in your backyard. That is just crazy.
Probably didn't need a permit back then.
Probably
need one
not. And he had movie money.
Now. He did. And look, there they are, riding on the train.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
Could you
cool.
imagine like just filling your backyard with train tracks? And
That's fun.
I guess I've done my share of dumb things too, but hey, this was just the next step in inspiring him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, a new dimension in animation. Was this when they combined people and cartoons?
This was, I don't know much about this project, but this had to do with animating dioramas of people as animated figures. I really don't know much about this because I don't think much became of it.
And he did some stories from nature as well.
He did. He loved nature and did a lot of short movies and documentaries about animals and
yeah.
nature.
I mean, I think that's how the Jungle Cruise was born, right? He actually wanted live animals on the Jungle Cruise.
He did.
Right, but you can't.
I don't think that became exactly what he was hoping, but
Yeah.
I love that ride.
I don't remember Seal Island or Nature's Half Acre, but
No.
he's done a lot of stuff.
But you can probably remember from watching The World of Disney that
Yeah.
every few weeks there'd be just an episode that was
Something.
all about animals and nature.
Yeah.
Watching otters swim around, or beavers build a dam or something, or bears not attacking people. So Disneyland was a project started by Disney when he couldn't find fun things to do with his kids.
Yeah,
So he made the place that he wanted,
he absolutely did.
a place where kids and adults could have fun together. In Disneyland, the castle is Sleeping Beauty Castle.
We gotta go see it.
I know. It's probably going to underwhelm us, the castle anyway. Because it's
Probably
small.
compared to this.
It's the
yeah.
first one and it's small.
Yeah.
But
But it's the original.
it's the original, and the parks have just kind of developed in different directions. They're two different experiences now.
The magic of television. Magic is real. Imagine making all those like diagram things.
All the dioramas.
The dioramas.
Yeah, that explain all the different areas.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because the areas from the original Disneyland are the areas that started Disney World.
Yeah.
So they do have a lot in common. But
Now these are the kind of movies I remembered as a kid. I couldn't tell you their names.
I
But-
remember the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mickey
And
Mouse Club.
Zorro, and some of the other shows at least look familiar, but Disney was big into television as well.
Yeah. Look at all those. I remember the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yep.
That was pretty awesome.
I remember a few of these guys. I remember Annette and Jimmy, and look, there's one called Moochie. He's
So-
the one always begging for a churro in the park.
So isn't he the one that he plays in Old Yeller? He was a little boy.
Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happens in Old Yeller, right?
No. Yeah, some old Mouseketeer stuff.
I feel like Annette was the most famous one
I think so too. I wonder why.
because she was only 12 inches tall.
Cubby, Doreen, Jimmy, and Sharon. I don't remember all the other ones, just Annette. So this is a giant diorama. This is all of Disneyland.
Yeah, from back in the day. The thing is, Disneyland's been modified probably, 15 times by now with new lands and attractions. I don't even see that big mountain on there with the bobsled in it.
Probably wasn't made yet.
Yeah.
Is that the mountain you're talking about?
Yes. Why can't I remember the name of it?
I don't know.
It's driving me nuts. But they had a lot of great attractions in there, including Haunted Mansion,
Yeah.
which still exists today. Now they're quickly jumping to California Adventure here, which is the second park in California, right across the street.
Baby, look at this.
You find a nice mix between the two parks of attractions you can find in Disney World and unique original attractions.
And that is Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Correct. It was originally a Tower of Terror ride, and they changed it to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Cool. From inkers to printers. That's cool. Look at that.
Yeah, always an innovator. Like every movie was kind of made by drawing each cell hand by hand.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, until, a couple of decades later when they streamlined the process a little bit. So everything from Snow White up to the 50s or 60s was probably like way more difficult than it was after that.
How many toothpicks do you think it took to build this?
There's a reason it's behind heavy glass.
Yeah, it's very fragile. So this is Paradise Pier concept model at Disney's California Adventure.
Yeah,
Look
this
at
is
that poster.
a whole area of just the park that I think it's been transformed a little bit since then, and it's got a little more current theming to it, like Incredibles and things like that, but they really went for kind of a classic park approach.
2 whole new Disney worlds.
Yeah, back in the 80s, they were expanding Disney and they went into other countries like Tokyo. Not that Tokyo's a country, but that's where a couple parks are.
And then they go to China.
Hong Kong, Disneyland, and each park has kind of a basic imprint of Disney, but they have unique castles and different rides. They have rides that have similar themes but have their own spin on them.
Literally.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the Florida project. Frozen and...
The Florida project is pretty well known.
Yeah.
Disney felt pretty penned in by Disneyland. Like, he couldn't really expand. He didn't like all the development that went up around Disneyland. So he bought a lot of land in Florida and basically started over with a new city with all kinds of room to expand.
Pandora.
That's a good ride.
I could do without Mission Space.
Sometimes it's a swing and a miss. It's a pretty cool effect, but
Yeah. Oh, look.
there's one of our favorites, Everest.
Everest.
Yeah.
So fun. So they even have a model of the Cinderella castle here at the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, this is our home castle, home
This
territory.
let's see if they have our room.
Yeah. Do you know we stayed in there once? That was awesome.
So there's no door. There's no
Okay.
door to get up to the room, so it's not there.
It's not a perfect model,
Okay. All right. All right.
but there's the windows.
There's the window. It's the window off the left side. That's like the living room area.
Yeah, and then around the back as well, there were some windows that you could see out as well.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
There's 3 windows.
I recommend staying there if you get a chance.
If you ever get a chance,
Yeah.
you should totally do it. I like the Swiss Family Robinson. I remember that as a kid. Mary Poppins.
That was a good movie.
Treasure Island. The Absent-Minded Professor. The Shaggy Dog.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Wow.
That became a classic attraction. It doesn't really exist anymore, but
No.
but it was there in Disney World at the start.
Small World at the Big World's Fair.
So yeah, Disney got tapped to help out at some of the world's fairs, and his creations there wound up in the parks. There was Small World and the Carousel of Progress. Both were debuted at World's Fairs
Yep.
and became attractions at the parks.
And I know that's where it came from. It got moved over
Yeah.
to Magic Kingdom.
That must have been a big truck.
Yeah. Small World at the World's Fair.
See, and I always thought they were saying it's a small world after all.
No, it's a Small World at the World's Fair. And here's a Tower of Terror model. That's pretty cool.
Yes. It's a little small. Only tiny screens. But yeah, this whole display is about the park expansions that went on at Disney World. There's the Tree of Life,
Tree of
back
Life.
there.
Model. It's just a photo, but
Yeah. But it's a photo of the model, and it's pretty spot on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Spaceship Earth
Yeah.
and
Our
the
beloved Epcot.
the Spaceship Earth model.
Yeah. That is the heart of Epcot, and one of our favorite parks, and honestly, it is such a bold statement for being a round ball.
Yeah. So I don't know what this is, but it's pretty interesting.
This is an animatronic of Abraham Lincoln, which is one of the
Oh.
early animatronics of Disneyland. And yeah, it looks like he's not wearing any clothes. But it's so lifelike in the face. Kind of makes you wonder.
Was he that tall?
I think he was.
Wow.
Yeah. But he's, I don't know, very, very lifelike in the face, and even the early animatronics were kind of amazing for their time.
Yeah. Look, so there's also audio animatronics. Don't use that anymore.
No, now it's all on a keyboard, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, you can't leave out any of the ships that Disney has.
No, welcome to the modern era of Disney entertainment. Cruise ships.
Cruise, which we still have to do.
I know, and look at how amazing these boats look.
Wow.
And they're kind of terrifying, aren't they? When you think about
They kind of
how
are.
many people are on that boat.
How many people you think are on the boat?
Probably 4,000 ant-sized
Thousands.
people.
Yeah.
But I want to go on the water slide.
Absolutely. There's just some figurines and some photos of parts of the cruise line. That's pretty cool. We're
It's
really
kind
going to
of-
have to go.
It's kind of amazing. I'm kind of excited because that's another place where we could probably meet Marvel characters because it's in international waters.
That's right. So just some more photos of the Disney Cruise Line, the Dream, the shows that they do, Halloween. It's got to be fun.
Absolutely amazing. Now, Disney cruises are known for being a little more expensive, but
Yeah.
you really can't beat
And look at
all
that.
of the entertainment they're providing.
Unique character experiences.
Look at that, it's Black Panther.
So we're reaching the end of the
Of our tour through the
Yeah.
museum portion of One Man Stream. Here at the end, there's a meet and greet with the Little Mermaid from the live action movie, and they have some of the costumes here available to look at before we go in. Just amazing.
It really is. And it came out in 2023.
There's Ariel's bag. I have not seen that in the gift shops yet.
No, look at in her ring. It's nice.
I think I did see that spyglass though over at the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yes, we did. Couldn't see anything. King Triton, look at that. It's amazing. All right, let's go inside and meet Ariel.
Yeah,
from the
now
live
this is a
action.
meet and greet that they've changed from time to time, but in recent times it's Ariel from the live action Little Mermaid.
Let's do it. Come to see Ariel, right? Just
We have, yes.
preface.
Yeah.
Her queue is really fun.
Yeah.
I got 2 for you. Come right on in.
You can set your stuff to the left side by the globe and the blue door. Hello there, my friend.
Hello.
Well, it's wonderful to see you.
Wonderful to see you.
Hi.
Now, did you sail here or have you used your feet today?
We've used our feet. Yeah.
We've
Wonderful.
used the heck out of our feet today.
Well, I love how far they can take you. You know, sometimes flipping your fins, you really can't get too far, but now I get to explore all around Prince Eric's kingdom every single day.
Isn't it amazing?
Oh, it's quite amazing, of course.
Okay, but what about bicycles and cars and stuff?
I've never seen anything like that before. What are those two?
Okay,
It's got to be in your thingamabob.
horse-drawn carriages?
Oh, there's lots
Okay,
of horse
all
drawn
right.
carriages in Prince Eric's kingdom.
Okay.
I remember the first time I rode in one, we went through the marketplace even faster than I do on my normal legs. It was almost like magic. Would you like to gather in for a portrait, my friend?
Sure.
Hey, Dawn, as soon as we left the meet and greet, it's time to go into the Walt Disney Theater.
Yeah, let's check it out.
So, Dawn, I kind of forgot that it dumps you out over here, kind of over by Star Wars Launch Bay.
Yeah.
So, just kind of around the corner from where we started.
It kind of just goes behind where the Ariel show
That's
is.
right.
That's not open
That's
right
right, and that's coming soon.
now. Awesome.
Yeah. So, what a great movie. It just kind of refreshes my memory of the history. In a short, like, little 10-minute video, everything
Yeah.
from his childhood all the way up through the history of Disney World. So, also a nice relaxing seat.
I wish we could have showed you, but there was no filming.
No filming of the film. Yes,
So-
you'll have to come see it yourself.
Absolutely. It's nice and cool, comfortable seats.
Yeah, and honestly, just it's concise, so it doesn't go on forever, and it's. I know the word history can sound a little less exciting than like a ride,
But this is fun.
but this was fun. This was interesting, and if you're a real Disney fan, I think you'll find real value in this. Plus, it's nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
So, I hope you get to enjoy One Man's Dream. Come check it out. I think it's something that will, pique your interest and enhance your enjoyment of Walt Disney World. Anyway, that's going to do it for us for today. Dawn, how'd I do?
Nice work, pal.